didn't have to do it. There's 2 years of follow-up sequences built in there, but the best part is I said, all right, I'll just do the first like three messages, and we're going to create a little strategy where I answer the top 5 questions that these homeowners are going to have after the site visit. It's like we sat as a team, walked through what's the top 5 questions they call after we do a demo. It's like, boom, we're going to build a little video, or we're going to build a guide or something that we link back on our website and send them a text. Hey, thanks for letting us come out. Here's some questions that you might think of after our site visit we wanted to share with you. Another one is, hey, we can't get people to pick the colors. That's always something that they need help with along the way. Great, let's build that into the follow-up. So we add value by helping them choose a color, and we show them a project gallery on our website and the company cam showcase saying, look at all these jobs we've done. You're making a good decision. Then once they close a job, what are you doing after the fact? What are you doing to get reviews? What are you doing to get referrals? What are you doing to make sure that you deliver a gold standard process to that customer so that when you get to the end, they won't stop talking about you, and they won't stop talking about you back on that channel that you found them in the first place. And so it's just going to reinforce that cycle of we're speaking to those people, and then they're going back to their little sphere of influence to continue talking about your business. So that's kind of like the blueprint in a nutshell. We can get deeper than that on like more of the ideas, which is typically the problem that people have. They're like, well, what should I say? What should I do? It's like, I'll help you put all that together. And so with, basically an hour and a half meeting with me and a client, I can go through this with them and then kind of build a plan of like, this is the plan of attack for you and your business for solving this immediate goal of, I want more shingle roofs. It's like, great, let's target this. And we don't want to spend money to do it. Great. Here's what we're going to go after then. So,
Yeah. No, that makes sense. I mean, so as you get that plan built out, it becomes, I mean, I guess it's not, you still have decisions, but it becomes more clear where you need to advertise, like what channels, and then what to say to
yep.
them after they're in your process.
Yep.
Um,
I mean,
and
ideal clients like because Proline can be used not just for like a shingle roof replacement, it can be used for commercial stuff too. Like if you got commercial leads, you can use that, but the way you're going to talk to a commercial person is totally different than a homeowner. And so it's like we're going to build something, a sell sheet, a plan that's going to speak to the differences between between the coating versus replacement and a maintenance plan and a long-term return on your investment, things of this that it's going to be maybe a little bit higher level, which like one of the clients I work with, like, I don't know what the right way to word these things are. And I'm like, well, who's the guy that's reading this? When you send something to him, whatever it is, like who's reading it? What does he care about? It's probably a guy that has some ties to the finance level of his business a lot of times where he's going to make a decision based on numbers and not as much of the other things. And so it's like, all right, we need to speak about that versus the homeowner, we're going to speak totally different to them too. And so,
yep, that totally makes sense. So, yeah, I love all this talk with the messaging. I mean, we have so much built out already by default in Proline, but we can only, it has to be super generic. Like because we are building it for so many to work for so many different roofing companies. Yeah, it's way better than nothing, but it's also, there's so much room for improvement. And we always tell people this, like, hey, like we encourage you to customize the messaging inside of Proline for yourself. But
well,
how
I'll
many people
speak
actually do it?
and I'll speak to that even because like I remember setting this up and looking through some of these thinking like these get a little cheesier. That's like it's not what I'm like thinking it's not what I would open. And then it's like, okay, just let it go. I don't have time to mess around with this right now. But then what I realize is like you'll get responses from people to the ones where it's like the home run. And it's like, hey, like that message, I remember getting people that it's like I thought it was cheesy or kind of silly. And then it's like, boom, that's the one that people responded to. And so it goes back to the like, not every person is going to engage with that same thing. And so that's kind of what's nice about it too, where there's a lot of different things that they're not pushy follow-ups. It's just, hey, we're just checking in. Like it's not necessarily follow-ups, it's more nuanced than that.
Yeah. And it's a good starting point. But once you have your marketing plan, right, then you kind of know more of what to say. And let's get into your what you call sell sheets. So this
Yeah.
is a great, we're talking about the text and the emails and that's great, but your quote, your messaging in your quote itself, super, super pivotal in this process. Um, kind of, we actually have an example to show, but why don't you give people an overview?